So data types are the first thing you should always explore when you start learning a new language, because you are going to store all your data in some type. Might be a float, might be a integer, might be a boolean, might be a string. Things needs to be stored. And when you store those things, you should have an idea where what exactly you're trying to store, what are the features, functionalities that particular type hold. And based on that, we will be able to write our logics going ahead. So this video, we are going to explore various data types which are available in Python. So let's begin. So looking at the data types we have in Python, it can be divided as numeric, where which holds int, float, and complex. Then we have got string type, boolean type for true and false. Then we have got sequence type, where we have got list, tuple, and range. And then we have got set and dictionary. Now these all data types, like whenever you deal with them, they like when you want to store a value based upon some number, let's say 3, or when we have 3.14, sort of like this complex number have a different use case. We will talk about that later on. Then we have got string type in Python, where we can use multiple string, single line string, multi-line string, so on. Then we have got under boolean the values of true and false for our logics or anything. Then we have got sequence based implementation. In sequence based, we have got list which can store a mutable data, and we'll see about that. Then we have got tuple when we want to store immutable data, and then we have got range. For example, you have 1, you have 100, and now you want to numerically generate all the numbers between 1 to 100. Rather than running a loop, the Python allows you to work with a range based implementation. Then we have set. It's like a mathematical set, no duplications, always like there is no ordering guaranteed. And then we have got dictionary, which stores the value in key and value pair. So these are the various data types which are available in Python. We are going to explore them all in a single program now. So let's start with that. Okay, so let's start coding for this. And as you know from the last example that we have been using VS Code and integrated Python. If you want, you can check out the previous video. You can find the link in the description, where we have set up Python and we have set up VS Code for executing a simple Python program. Next, what we are going to do is let's type. I want to write with data types dot py file, and let's try to understand a simple example first. So let's say we want to start with a variable called as x. Now, how do we declare a variable in Python? Is just we give a variable name and we specify what type of, like if it is an int, I pass it like this. If it's a string, I will pass it like this in single quotes or double quotes, and so on. We are going to explore that difference between them. For now, let's consider a simple variable x, which is pointing to uh, code with z. I write code with z, but as it is a string, we have to enclose it within a single quotes or a double quotes. So we will explore string in details when we go into the next video. What I want to do here is I want to print this. So I will say print of x. So this way, and if I, you know how to execute this, right? We open the terminal, and when we open the terminal, we'll say Python space and data types dot py, and it is printing code with z. But what if I want to print what is the type of this particular type? So there is another function which returns a string value. So I will print it, but how will I embed this? I will say type of x. So now if I check my output, see what it is saying, that this is code with z, but its type is what? It belongs to a class of string. Yeah, it belongs to a class of string. Then this was the first type. Then I say print x, and now I want to x is equal to, let's say, 10, and I will repeat the same scenario. I will say print of x, and then I will say print type of x. So I've got 10 and my type of int, which is doing what? Which is bringing us the implementation, right? So this is an int value. Now, obviously, for all the calculations where we require the whole numbers, we will use the int. Then in, see, in VS Code, if you, I want to repeat this now for different value. Plus in VS Code, or sorry, in Python, the variable scope is limited. Like after I read, I can redeclare a variable. That is a beauty when we can work with Python. It's not something which is available in all the other way programming languages. So we'll talk in detail about scope. Now, what I want to do is I want to repeat this 4 lines. I want to repeat. How will I do that? Okay. So for this reason, you will press Shift Alt and down arrow. Okay. What is the shortcut for that? We'll say Shift plus you select. Okay. You select the content you want to repeat. Select the lines you want to repeat. Okay. Then what you do? You do Shift plus Alt plus plus down arrow. Okay. That way, what will happen? You will be able to repeat, and it will become easier for you because we are trying to do the same thing again and again. This time, let's say 10.45 is what I want to do. So in this situation, I will try to print this again and see. This time 10 or 10.45, it is a floating value. Yeah, it's a floating value. What we have here. Then we have another type. See, I select this again, Shift Alt down arrow. And if I want to print a comment, I will have to start with the hash. So I say hash, and then I want to deal with a complex number. So when we deal with a complex number, we are going to do a specific video on a complex number. So don't worry about that. But for now, it's a real number plus an imaginary number, and which is suffixed with j. Yeah. In Python, it is suffixed with j. So how will my number look like? For example, it will be like 10 plus, let's say 5j. Now let's see what it says when I try to do this. It says 10 plus 5j. It's a complex number. Now we'll talk more about this in the later upcoming videos. Again, Shift Alt down arrow. I want to repeat this. See, all my outputs are getting very formatted now. This is why I am using those scenarios. Next, I have a Boolean value. So how does a Boolean value looks like in Python? We have got like if here we have got true and false. See, Boolean true and then false. If you are coming from other programming languages, there mostly the true and false is written in lowercase. But here you see it is the first letter is always an uppercase for a Boolean based value. Okay. Then these are my basic data types, what we have been doing till now. Then we have got sequential type. In my sequence type, what we have is a list. A list is represented using a pair of square brackets. And the thing is, it is mutable. It means you can go and make the changes to this. Then we have got tuple. Tuple is represented using a round bracket and it is immutable. Like once you pass any value to this, you won't be able to change it. Then we have got range. In range, what we do, we have got how do we write it? We write a function called as range from to. We can also provide a step, and it is iterable. Yeah, it is an iterable. So let's try to execute this example now. So I will copy this much part, like this much part again. I want to repeat this, but I want to do it after this comments. And now let's say x is equal to, I say, I create a list of car company. Okay, so I say Honda, I say Toyota, I say Nissan, and let's take one more. Let's call it as Skoda, and let's take one more, Chevrolet. Okay, then let's see what is the type it is giving me right now. So it says Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Skoda, and see it's in square brackets and its type is what? List. If I try to use the same thing now, if I try to use the same thing this time, but I make a small change, instead of square brackets, let me use a round bracket. Instead of square bracket, let me use a round bracket. And let's see what is the difference now. Same thing, but this became a tuple. But the thing is, in long run, I can actually make changes into this list, but I won't be able to make any changes into this tuple. Yeah, that's a difference. Then let's make one more. Like in the next example, we'll do. I want to have a range of values between let's say 1 to 10. We can also provide a step. We'll see in detail when we go to the data structure module. And how does it looks like? Let's see. So it's a range of 1 to 10. I can iterate this, and it's of type range. Okay. Then the last section, what we have is basically set in dictionary. Set is a single value, as we have already like we have discussed that set in mathematics sense, right? It is represented using a pair of curly brace where we have got no duplicates in it, and they are unordered. You cannot guarantee any ordering while iterating through a set. So here, let's say I copy the same thing and I make a difference now. Let's see how we can do that. Okay. First thing, let me replace my curly braces, round brackets with curly braces. This way, it will become what? A set now. But if I pass Nissan again, what will happen now? See, it is only taking one Nissan. The second one is got rid of. Why? Because set does not allow duplicates. Yeah. Plus they are unordered. So see, the order in which I was passing here is not maintained. But if you check, let's check for tuple. So if I go for a tuple, Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Skoda, Chevrolet was in the same order we were working. But when I pass the same value in a set, the order was not maintained. So this is basically unordered and it has a performance difference as well. Then we have got something called as dictionary. Next, we have got a keyword dict, which is short for dictionary, and it is represented using key colon value. And then important is the key side is like a set, and the value side is like a list. So simple term, key cannot be duplicated. And how do I write that? So I can say, let me just take this print value here, like the whole statement, and I only will change the value now. So this x I will have to. So let's say I introduce myself, name colon, my name is Sartab. Okay. Then the second type I want to pass here is, let's say, what is my blog website. So it is www.codewithz.com. Okay. Then what we have next is YouTube channel, which is by the name of Code with Z. Be a very good time that if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please go and subscribe. Click that subscribe button, click on the bell icon, and get notified about all our upcoming videos. Then let's say I specify my city. I stay in Mumbai. Okay. And now let's see how does it looks like. See, it's my all the values, key value pair, and it's of type dictionary. So if you're trying along on this code, and I consider if you're new to Python and you might make some mistake, you will see that there is a link in the description for a GitHub repo. Now, what you can do is you can also see the link on the screen right now. You can go to that link, and so you will land up on this page. And if you're new to GitHub, I'm also planning to create a series on GitHub. But for now, whatever file I was working on, you will be able to find it here. You click it open, and whatever code I have written, it's all available here. Going along, you can just simply go and check all my codes are available there. And thank you for watching this video, everyone, and please do subscribe and share it with your friends.